Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to another RPG News Roundup, this time for January 4th, 2025. Wow, a whole new year ahead. This is where I take a look back at the week in tabletop, computer, and console role-playing game news and bring you the highlights. And as always, we'll start with computer and console role-playing game news, and yes, it's going to be a little bit of a slow week again, although I did get some computer and console Kickstarter stuff for the crowdfunding section. Anyway, it does look like Path of Exile 2, which is otherwise having a decent entry into early access, had some sort of security breach. Even though it only generally impacted in-game items and resources, it apparently extended to bypassing Steam's two-factor authentication. So hopefully somebody will figure out what happened there and get it fixed. Then it looks like Honkai Star Rail version 3 is set to launch in January 15th. An update to the free-to-play turn-based RPG. It'll start a new adventure on the world of Amphorius. Tales of Iron 2, Whiskers of Winter, looks to be getting a release on January 28th. It has you playing the heir to the Warden of the Wastes as you go through a snow-covered landscape in order to overcome the Dark Wings. Recketeer, an items shop tale, is apparently going to get an HD remaster. The Japan release will be sometime this year, 2025, and while there is no announcement of a Western release yet, hopefully it will follow. This is actually a game I'm rather fond of. I remember playing it quite a bit. You get to run an item shop and sell items recovered from a random dungeon to the townspeople. As far as actual releases go, there's a small smattering of them due to the lull at the turnover of the year, as I just mentioned. Astra, Era of Anguish, looks to be somewhat light action-adventure RPG, where you explore a valley, try and unravel a mystery, and it does have some very old-school 3D look, so there's that. Dungeon Raze looks like it's an action roguelike with simple pixel graphics and a focus on dungeon destruction. Looks like more of a shooter than an RPG, but it's kind of hard to tell with these things nowadays. Ignesia is an action RPG adventure involving exploring a world filled with dragons and other mystic creatures with unique abilities and special purposes. Finally, Acumen Summoner is a RPG creature collector where you catch and mutate various creatures in order to build teams to battle with them. It is in early access. With that, let's take a look at tabletop RPGs. Now, I'm not sure how much of an RPG bit of news this is, but apparently Hasbro has licensed the D&D brand out to an outfit specializing in gambling products. So we'll have to see where that goes. I mean, they do other gaming stuff too, but if they end up turning D&D into a gacha game, I'm just going to laugh so hard. With that, we'll go right into minor and PDF releases. The Moorland Memoirs, A Mysterious Monsters of Moorland Manor, is a 5th edition adventure set in a weathered manor long isolated with a habit of refusing all visitors. Reign of the Sundered Idol is a 5th edition module with a decent number of adventures, quest areas, landscape, etc., set in a world created by a dragon mother and then shattered by a mysterious cataclysm. What We Bring With Us is a 5th edition adventure set for 2 to 3 hours where the party has been cursed and now is haunted by an evil spirit where they must find a way to get rid of it. Chaos in Kronos is a 5th edition adventure where a mysterious melody is ensnaring minds. Wedding Bashers is a 5th edition compatible offering revolving around a wedding, of course. Legacy of Morley's Workshop is a 5th edition one-shot adventure that can be used as part of a sequence of encounters revolving around a mystery where the players must spot clues to find a killer. Anachronalia has 2 5th edition adventures. They're both based around the Yorkshire area. There is the Hound of the Frost Fair and the Dark Between the Green, the latter of which deals with the lair of a green dragon. Chronicles of Ivrea, War in the North, is a 5th edition high-level campaign with a Viking theme. Summoning the Fire Lord is a solo 5th edition adventure revolving around a half-elven mage looking to solve a mystery when strange runes begin to appear around town. The Village of Thornbury Ridge is a detailed village with associated NPCs suited for the start of campaigns and local adventures. It's got stats for 5th edition as well as OSR-based system, but can be used as a system-neutral offering. Earth Arcane, a guide to the adventurous, is a 5th edition setting with a detailed world, various new character options, maps, unique magic and equipment, 30 new monsters, and so forth. 5.5 edition Foes Italia Bestiary is a collection of over 160 monsters of various types, presumably from the Italian peninsula. The Evolving Bestiary bosses is part of what will be a series of creature companions. This one's focused on boss monsters that belong to a family linked by themes and traits. Isadora Grimwood's Black Market Warehouse is a 5th edition supplement revolving around a witch's shop with a collection of 14 different items. Instant Arcana is a collection of 50 reaction-based spells for 5th edition, including various reaction cantrips, class-specific spells, and so forth. And I think Edgecraft is from the same people. I'm not sure. I should have looked this up. Edgecraft is a collection of 50 slashing damage spells for 5th edition from a variety of classes. Arcane Seeds, The Chronicles of Eldoria, is a fantasy setting with NPCs and encounters, customizable magical artifacts compatible with 5th edition. Chamomile Has Adventures has a couple offerings. There's the Santaling Sorcerer and other holiday subclasses, a set of holiday-themed material for 5th edition. And then Dark Lord March of Darkness, which is a separate game where you play an evil lord. Cleric Domains of Yarth is a 5th edition collection of material for the Yarth campaign setting, revolving around cleric domains, of course. Monk subclass Iron Grip is a Tales of the Valiant compatible subclass for monks specializing in grapples. Then the Quicksilver Adventuring League once more has a set of subclasses available for 5th edition and the 2024 edition. But they also have a set of compilations, so I'll mention the compilations because otherwise we'd be here all day. There's the Warlock compilation, the Monk compilation, the Sorcerer subclass compilation, the Ranger subclass compilation, the Druid compilation, and the Fighter compilation. And for those who are looking for more compilations, there is the Ukrainian subclasses compendium, which is a collection of Eastern European-themed 5th edition subclasses. Enhancing Familiars is a 5th edition supplement designed to allow growth and the implementation of new abilities, traits, and so forth for familiars. Escape Wraith Ridge Asylum is a Shadowdark Level 0 Gauntlets dungeon crawl with a gothic horror theme. Shadow of the Bone Walkers is another Shadowdark adventure, this one revolving around a mystery involving a curse and some desperate villagers. The Shucked Oyster is a Shadowdark status supplement that focuses on a carousing location, specifically a brothel, and its various patrons, along with a few associated dungeons. Treasury Raided is a Shadowdark supplement that offers a set of treasure table items, mostly focused on luxurious weapons and clothing that can be sold or collected. Troll Lord Games has Gary Gygax's The Hermit, statted for Castles and Crusades or other OSR systems. It's basically a revised release of one of Gygax's later works. The Alchemical Press has a couple of offerings for OSR systems. There's Perils of Portal Lake, which is more of a set of maps designed for adventures set within that campaign. And then there's a Road Trip, which is part of the Perils of Portal Lake campaign. I think it's a campaign that involves mouse-based heroes. Delver Issue 16 is an OSR resource, especially for Old School Essentials, that provides a variety of random charts and tables as well as an article and an adventure. Classic Game Adventures Fantasy Encounters is a system-agnostic set of fantasy RPG cards that are inspired by classic computer RPGs from the 1980s. Against the Hydra is a low-level adventure for Old School Essentials and similar OSR RPGs dealing with a Hydra hunting in a swamp. Hawkmoor Campaign Setting Primer is a system-neutral setting guide that can be used for generally any OSR system as kind of a light version of a full version that stats it out properly for BX-style systems. The Chronicles of Ember Bestiary is exactly what it says on the title, a collection of creatures for the Chronicles of Ember. Half Jinx is a family-friendly RPG where you play a group of halflings working together to create a little mischief in their village. It is inspired by Mouse Ritter. Child of Darkness is a third-party unofficial adventure for the Dark Eye RPG. It is designed to be played in a single session. Conquistador is a new profession for Dragonbane, featuring a tactician along with rules for firearms. Then there's the Iceberg of Horrors, a adventure for Dragonbane, set on an iceberg drifting in the ocean currents. There's a few offerings for Ilmara for a Rollmaster system. There's the Forest Knight and Steam Master Gnome, and I think one more released just as I was starting to record. Betrayal in Pine Hollow is a dungeon adventure for the Tiny D6 RPG set in a pine forest. Dungeon Lords Fate of Evania is a fantasy setting and campaign book for the Fate system. Witch Vale Player's Guide is a guide to building and playing a group of young witches for the Witch Vale RPG, which is a simple D6 resolution mechanic. Shadows of the Silk Road is a supplement for the Ragnarok 660 RPG, which includes various new professions, lore, creatures, challenges, and so forth. Children of the Weird is a tabletop RPG in a land inspired by the Pictish tribes and based on Scottish folklore and legend. Jeremy Clifford has a couple of scenarios for Call of Cthulhu. There's The Star That Fell and The Forsaken Pilgrimage. Then The Missing Cat is another scenario for Call of Cthulhu from somebody else, although it is a revised edition to one that was previously released due to a publishing error, so there's that. Gateways into Madness, The Dark Side of the Moon is an RPG based on the Chaosium role-playing game, the Chaosium Basic Role-Playing Universal Game Engine. And actually this is a specific adventure, The Dark Side of the Moon, for Gateways of Madness, and it deals with a frozen moon. For Profit, Prison Views is a For Profit Prison Blues is a scenario for the Supers Revised RPG, and I'm sorry I'm going through this pretty quick. Had a rough morning. Lone Star Stories Protect and Serve is a set of various stops to fill in the gaps between a larger storyline in Shadowrun. Then there is World Tour Escape from Paris, a scenario for Shadowrun set after an orchestrated attack on the Matrix around Paris. Weird World is a distant future post-apocalyptic bizarre RPG set like 6,000 years in the future. Or I guess 4,000 years now. I can do math. Anyway, Science Zine Issue 1 is a zine-style game about exploration in a sci-fi universe. Bugged Out is a trifold adventure for Mothership, first edition, that revolves around an abandoned research station. And finally, there's Nietzsche's Demon, a Mothership adventure dealing with a cargo ship that has become entangled with a being native to hyperspace. And with that, let's take a look at crowdfunding campaigns. Remember that contributing to a crowdfunding campaign should be done only at your own risk. Doing so is no guarantee of even receiving a product mentioned. It is not an endorsement, but is for informational purposes only. And a few computer and console campaigns caught my eye, as I mentioned earlier. There is a Fade RPG, which looks to be building an action RPG, mingling the Souls-like concepts with Fable in a world inspired by Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Then Quipu Runner, and I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, looks to be a multiplayer action RPG inspired by South American civilizations, ancient South American civilizations. Mudgate looks to be a game, and I'm not sure how much of an RPG it intends to be, but it is inspired by and based on text-based MUDs, except for the 3D presentation, from way back when. So it will support both single-player and multiplayer modes. Onwards towards tabletop crowdfunding, Shadowstone Hollow will be a 3-adventure collection for 5th edition adventures set in the village of Shadowstone Hollow. Legends of the Ash and Shield will be a 5th edition campaign of knights, witches, dragons, and so forth. Looks like it's going to be strong elements of chivalry, ancient magic, and the like. 100 Amazing Events will be a supplement with 100 plus unique moments, twists, challenges for 5th edition to sprinkle within your world. A Tome of Cursed Curiosity for D&D will be a collection of 5th edition cursed items, artifacts, and objects. Blights, Catastrophes, and Scourges on the Realm will be a collection of global catastrophic events for the 5th edition that can be used either to inspire or as part of various storylines. 100 Urban Scenarios will be a collection of 100 plot hooks for various RPGs based on myths and legends but set in urban areas. When I read that, I was like, what? Is it like 30 pages of being mugged? Anyway, Xeno Salvage will be a dark sci-fi RPG compatible with Shadow Dark about crawling a deadly alien ruins and crashed UFOs looking for precious artifacts. Finally, there is Back to Basics and Gamazine, a double offering which looks to fund Back to Basics number 13 and Gamazine number 4 for their respective OSR systems, which I think is BX, and something based on Gamma World. Anyway, on that note, I will wrap things up here. This has been the RPG Crawler with my RPG News Roundup for January 4th, 2024. If you like what you've seen, remember to leave a like, comment, guide, feedback, and subscribe for more RPG content. I hope you had a good New Year's. Until next time, take care and goodbye. I have a ton of recording to do.
And if you are still watching, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my supporters, the top tiers of which are listed on the screen, without whose support I would not have been able to offer the variety of content that I have on this channel throughout the years. If you're feeling particularly generous and would like to join them, you can support the channel. There are a variety of options to do so. I have a Patreon, a Subscribe Star, as well as channel memberships enabled. If you are not in a position to contribute, simply leaving a like, a comment, or sharing my videos are all wonderful ways to help the channel grow without spending a dime, and are all greatly appreciated.